Colorado was one of the top states people moved to in recent years, yet as of 2024 has practically lost its steam. Is it the cost of living? The quality of life in Denver? Half of all Colorado residents live within Denver's metro area, so that would have some influence, right? Are the political and social spheres playing a role? There's a lot of factors involved, but let's at least try to answer this question. Is moving to Colorado even worth it anymore? Well, let's take a look. So for this video, we're gonna focus solely on the Front Range, because around 80% of all Colorado residents live along this section of the state. It is by far the most popular area, where anything on the eastern side is much smaller rural towns, and then anything west is within the Rocky Mountains. Now, Colorado is, as of 2024, ranked number 6 in the nation for most expensive states to live in, specifically talking about real estate, coming in at a state average of $553,000 for a single family home. That's about 31% higher than the national average for home price taken in Q4 of last year, and that's at $419,000. So to set expectations immediately, Colorado is expensive, especially along the Front Range. The most expensive city here, I'd argue, is Boulder, Colorado, with a median home price for single family homes of around $1.2 million. The next is Denver at around $640,000. So the second most expensive city is 46% less in price. And then we have the subsequent cities' costs after that. The most affordable city would be Colorado Springs, around 90 minutes away from Denver. The median cost for a single family home here is around $460,000. Compared to most of the suburbs around Denver and around Boulder, and even north in the areas around Fort Collins, Colorado Springs is by far the best location to move if you're solely looking at price. Although there are always options in the other cities too. Like I said, this is the median price, so there's a bit of a spread here. But just to set expectations up front, if you're planning a move to Colorado, expect it to be more expensive than 88% of the nation. Now, with that being said, not all hope is lost. Like I said, these were the median prices. So if you're even coming into Colorado with a budget that's less than Colorado's median, we can still find a home for you. If you've been doing research on a move to Colorado, reach out to me. I speak with people like you every week who are interested in the state and are doing as much research as possible before they take the first steps. If this sounds like you, my information is pinned below. I'd love to answer any questions you have or help you start the process of moving to Colorado. But for now, let's get back to the video. Now, to transition to something that helps make Colorado stand out is that there are a ton of things to do along the Front Range. Quite obvious as you're looking right now, but all the cities I've mentioned border the beginnings of the Rocky Mountains. As a result, this entire section and everything west is very much into the outdoors. There are hundreds of spots you can go practically anywhere, but I'd argue there's some locations that favor others. One of the best places to go to hike is Boulder. They have the Flatirons right on the south end of the city, so it's a fantastic place to go spend a morning hiking for some terrific views, and then treat yourself to some lunch or dinner at the numerous restaurants in town. Boulder, being the most expensive city along the Front Range, might not be within your price range. However, it's definitely a place you need to visit, at least once. Another spot I've mentioned before is Colorado Springs. This one is great because it's also a large city that is quite literally right next to the mountains, almost like Boulder. You have Garden of the Gods, which is an unbelievable location, practically tucked away from the rest of the world. And then Pikes Peak, one of Colorado's 14ers, towering over you at all times. And of course, there are still excellent locations all along Denver's western edge, like Golden, Colorado, which has some incredibly beautiful spots. And then we can head farther north to places like Loveland and Fort Collins for some secret locations tucked away inside the beginning of the Rockies. Now, something I do want to stress about Denver, though, is that if you're interested in getting into the mountains frequently, it might be advantageous to live in this area. The main reason being is because of I-70. This interstate is one that runs directly through Colorado all the way to Utah and cuts through Denver. And although it may not be the final road that takes you to so many spots in Colorado, you're more likely than not going to start on it. For example, if you're trying to head to spots like Crested Butte or Steamboat Springs, you might want to capitalize on I-70 to help get you there. It really is the foundational route west that you can then branch off into secondary routes to get to your destination. Colorado has so much to do, and it'll keep you busy for years. And if we're being honest, it's one of the main reasons why people are moving here. It has excellent outdoor opportunities. Now let's talk about two more aspects that make Colorado a great option and might reignite some desire to move there, and that's jobs and education. From an economy perspective, it has been ranked number 4 in the nation. Now, this has been analyzed through a series of different factors, ranging from overall business environment, job growth and growth potential, unemployment numbers and GDP growth, as well as a few other factors. I'll throw a link below where you can check out a bit more information on this. But it's clear, especially given the variety of sectors that are present along the Front Range. In the Denver-Boulder area, you'll find a lot of technology, aerospace and aviation, and scientific and energy industries. Down in Colorado Springs, there's a huge aerospace and military presence there, with bases like Fort Carson, Peterson Space Force Base, and the Air Force Academy too. But I also mentioned education, and Colorado has been ranked number 5 in the nation for education, and number 4 for higher education. Now this is again taking a wide array of factors like graduation rates, population with advanced degrees, and then also college readiness and specific subject scores of the varying high schools in the area. Colorado has very popular universities like CU Boulder, Colorado School of Mines, and Colorado State. Not to mention some very high-ranking school districts in the Denver area and a little bit in Colorado Springs. Colorado does compete here, which is why even though its popularity has lost a bit of steam over the recent years, one of the biggest factors being the sharp increase in cost of living, the state is still a breathtaking and fantastic part of the country to call home. There's so much to do and so much to build here, but that cost, yeah, that can be tough to swallow. But not all hope is lost. Let me show you a few locations with relatively affordable homes for Colorado that might make your planned move here much more realistic. I think you'll love them. This is Life on the Front Range. I'll see you there.